enter the childhood home of our most brutal mass murderer.
The home has been rigged up with several cameras, but for the most part, the audience will see only what you see. Let the dangertainment begin.
It's going to be the biggest battleground in the history of our sport. The biggest match in pro wrestling history.
Okay. Oh, I got it. This is better. Last word. I dig music. Woo! I'm on drugs!
As the biggest night in the history of this great organization.
Oh, that's right, folks. It's me. It's the THCDOGG, back with the IZZY, Mr. Izzy High, and this is WMW. What is going on, my friends? I know it's been a little bit, some real life stuff going on. Every once in a while, we get a little delay, but it's all good because we come back. We're bigger. We're stronger than ever. We got a ton of stuff going on this week. It's really been a week of up and downs. But before we get into all of that, Izzy, my man, how you been? I haven't talked to you. I haven't seen you in a week or two. I talked to you, but I haven't seen you in a week or two.
Yeah, man, I am awesome as always. I lived such a blessed life. We've had a lot going on these last couple weeks with celebrities and our childhoods and things like that. So I'm holding on, man. Just same as anybody else is, and any day above ground's better than one below it. So.
Absolutely. So what are we hitting on today, my friend?
Oh my goodness. Let me see here. We are working with from the Flower
Bowl.
Yeah, real quick before I go into what I'm hitting on, let me give everybody kind of the inside scoop on how to get free weed in Michigan. Now check it out. If you go to the Flower Bowl, 315 Inkster Road in Inkster, Michigan, you go in there and you see a guy by the name of the Giant. You tell the Giant that we sent you. Your good old Uncle Frank, Izzy High, and the THC Dogg, we sent you over there. And if you fill out a review on Google, you'll get free weed. They'll give you a free pre-roll joint, compliments of them and us, and 30% off your first visit of everything you buy. So make sure you go check out the Flower Bowl, 315 Inkster Road. Tell the Giant that I sent you. And what I'm smoking on right now is Bumper OG, and it's a hybrid strain. Has a hefty lineage, is what it says.
All righty.
It's Amnesia S1 plus Black Line GMO, and Cherry Kush and Lemon Tree Papaya, which is GMO. And it's pretty potent. If you can tell, I'm pretty well there. And
it's a nice variety.
Hybrid, and it keeps me going on the gypsy speedball of coffee and weed this morning. So
right on.
Again, make sure you check out the Flower Bowl, 315 Inkster Road. Ask for the Giant. Tell them that I sent you.
All right. And myself, I am working on a new rhythm cart. Let's see. What's that say here? Gas and glue. Live resin cart from the folks at Rise, from the folks at Rhythm, handled by our good friends over there at Rise here in Quincy, Illinois. Great bunch of folks. One of the nicest places I've ever bought weed. And I go back, you know what I'm talking about, man. Because I see it's so funny. I saw somebody complaining the other day. They were like, oh, I hate weed snobs and blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, you're just lucky you didn't come from the fucking dirt weed days, all
Oh
right?
my
The
God.
fucking that brick, those brick days of that dry ass fucking. Oh God, that stuff was awful.
Well, and for me, I smoke mids at the best because I don't want to fuck my tolerance up. Okay?
Right? Exactly.
I smoke a lot of weed. And if I was to fucking increase my tolerance on, man, I could never fucking afford it. Okay. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. What I do is I buy what's called max out bags there, and it's 2.5 ounces, well within $60.
Nice.
And
Very nice.
it's really good, anywhere between 25%, And yeah, it definitely gets me there. And I've been smoking for years. I go back to the White Owls and tubes and the you want to talk about the dirty brick weed where you had to tilt your tray and listen to the waterfall of seeds come rolling down.
Oh man. I tell you that is the nice thing about this day and age we live in. I can't remember the last time I smoked a seed.
Right.
But those of you who have been around a while, those of you who go back with us to those days, you know that burning, that horrible, nasty. Shit! I hit a fucking seed. Yeah. Never a bonus. Never. Not a pleasant surprise. Not anything good.
Oh, you wanted those for free because you paid for them too, huh?
Yep. So it's all good here. Again, loving the fact that as a country, we're coming to accept the truth behind marijuana, the usefulness of marijuana, in so many different ways, mental health and physical health.
I'm looking forward to everybody getting on board so I can travel a little bit more without feeling like a fucking criminal.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, everybody is. I'm going to be in North Carolina next week for almost a full week, and it's illegal there. So I'm examining my options.
Right. That's it, man. Go rogue.
So 2 weeks ago, well, a week and a half ago, I guess at this point.
Yeah.
I saw the news that Connie Francis had passed away. And Connie, she was great in those beach movies back in the 50s and 60s with Annette and Frankie and all that stuff. Definitely an icon for her time, and in that vein. And I was like, well, that sucks. That's unfortunate. And then the fucking floodgates opened.
Right.
And I don't know what the fuck is going on right now, but in the last week or so, we've lost Chuck Mangione,
right,
Malcolm Jamal Warner, and then Ozzy, and Ozzy. We'll get back to Ozzy in a minute.
Yeah, we'll save that for the music. Yeah,
and then Hogan, it's like, what the fuck is happening out? It's like all of a sudden, like all of these people are just dropping dead on us, and it's it was a crazy week, and the hardest one for me, oddly enough, was Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah,
we're about the same age, you and I.
Yeah.
So the Cosby Show, the Cosby Show was must-watch TV when we were in the 80s. Everybody watched the Cosby Show.
I'll show you something now, man. Even with all the brain damage, and I haven't even looked it up, but it was Thursday night on NBC. That's how big of a deal it was, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the show was huge. It was the #1 show on television for like 4 seasons in a row. And the cast was amazing. The interaction between them was believable.
But the one thing that I noticed from the show, and I was mentioning it to you earlier, and I don't know if it was like some kind of underlying thing or whatnot, but none of the Cosby kids in the show were successful adults. Every one of them had to move back home.
That is true.
That's one thing that I kind of took away from that after watching it over and over and over. That all these kids, they couldn't function as adults.
Highly successful parents.
Right.
Now, of course, the problem with the Cosby Show now is the same problem that I have with Roseanne.
Okay.
I loved Roseanne.
Right.
I watched that show religiously. I would watch it in reruns. I've probably seen it from episode 1 to the finale at least 3 or 4 times in my life. Mm-hmm. But I can't get behind hate speech. I just can't. And while I am often able to separate the art from the artist, because perfect example, I have 1, 2, 3 tattoos on my body that are from Neil Gaiman's Sandman book. Neil Gaiman recently accused of some things.
Oh, lovely.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not gonna, scrub my arms until my tattoos come off.
Right.
I'm not gonna throw away all of my comic books that he wrote.
Right.
But those were accusations.
And to kind of tie into that a little bit, and we're going to go into Hogan later. For me, as well, with things like that, if I couldn't stand beside the person and have a picture taken and show it to somebody who I consider very close, Isaiah, and if Isaiah was to look at me with any kind of disappointment, that's my heart.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
And that's the hard part, because it's hard to separate the art from the artist when the artist has been convicted of sexually molesting people for 40 years.
Right.
Bill Cosby was a monster. We just didn't know it.
Sure.
But the guy was a fucking monster. With Roseanne, I was on Ambien. I've been on Ambien. I know a lot of people who have been on Ambien, and it didn't turn any of us into a racist.
Well, that also goes with a lot of people who find religion. Usually a lot of people who find religion, it's because nobody else wants to fucking deal with them.
Exactly. It's only after they fucked it up down here so badly, that nobody's, and usually it's in prison. Happens a lot when you're in prison. It's like, maybe if it had been a little earlier, you wouldn't be in prison, dickhead. Right. So Connie Francis aside, 2 major blows to the music industry this week. Now, those of us who are King of the Hill fans, we love Chuck Mangione. He doesn't make any sense why he's there, what he does, why he does what he does. Like, why is he opening a Megalomart? We don't fucking know. Right. But the way that they worked him in there.
What would Brian Boitano do?
Exactly. We got to touch on that.
All
right. So
yeah.
So Chuck Mangione passed away, 76, I think it said.
Right.
Known for Feel So Good, which they worked into the King of the Hill every chance they got. And he clearly had a sense of humor about himself.
Sure, you'd have to.
Because really, I mean, the flugelhorn. Who the fuck ever made money with the flugelhorn?
But again,
Mangione.
But that gave him a rebirth as well in so many different ways, and that's the cool part about it. When oh my God, when they first brought him up, I was thinking Herb Alpert. Okay. That's it. Yes, I can name Herb Alpert off the top.
Herb Alpert's great, man. Absolutely.
The Spanish Flea, and but anyhow, so along those same veins. So it's crazy how he became again iconic just off of something as simple as.
And that song was a hit for him in the 70s.
Right.
And then you didn't hear shit. It's like Christopher Cross. Had one or two really big songs, and then you've never fucking heard from the guy again.
Right.
So there's a comedian, Richard Jenny, who sadly passed away. does a great bit. He's like, I went to see Christopher Cross in concert. Why? Because somebody had to. And he's like, and we had a great time, just me and Chris. So 2 weeks ago,
it was me.
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, in England, they have the farewell show,
Right.
And from what I've read recently, the last couple of days, I think Ozzy and Sharon knew.
Sure.
Apparently, Ozzy had stopped taking the painkillers because he wanted to be coherent for the, for the last show. It was rough, it was a rough one. And I was a Sabbath. My dad was a huge Sabbath fan. My uncle was a huge Ozzy fan. So I had that exposure to them when I was very young. No More Tears is still one of my favorite albums, period. Just, I love that album from start to finish. So we're going to play a video.
I'm sorry. Ozzy kind of set an example as well that David Lee Roth followed. Okay. When Ozzy left Black Sabbath, they were, or didn't leave, but anyhow,
when he was asked to depart,
it was like, how do you top what was on top?
Right.
And he turned around and he ended up finding Randy Rhoads, who was playing with Quiet Riot at the time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the same as you had Eddie Van Halen with David Lee Roth.
Oh, yeah.
David Lee Roth left or got fired from Van Halen. Do you remember who he got? Steve Vai.
Okay. All right.
And then as a bass player, he had Billy Sheehan.
Nice. Very nice.
So
David Lee Roth could put a band together. He could call people up and be like, hey, man.
So as I was saying with Ozzy ended up with Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Zakk Wylde.
Yeah. Well, between that, he had Jake E. Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. Who they really ripped off, but that's neither here nor there. Rudy Sarzo, who also played with Quiet Riot, ended up coming on as a bass player for Ozzy's band. And then you had, as a drummer, you had Tommy Aldridge, who later on went on with White Snake and just a master genius level musicians.
Right. Sure.
So,
sure.
Again, so to come out from leaving Black Sabbath or being fired from Black Sabbath, to come out with that strong of a lineup, like, all right, fuck you, here we are, man. Now. And ironically enough, what happened to Black Sabbath? Yeah. They ended up with Ronnie James Dio, but
I have mixed opinions on Dio.
I got thrown out of Ronnie James Dio's dressing room, but that's a story for another time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Ozzy put together such a lineup of musicians, and he kept such talented musicians around, and it continued to move forward.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe even surpassed it, but and
well, at one point I know that they had Mike Borden on drums and Puffy's from Faith No More, who, I've been a Faith No More fan since I heard The Real Thing for the first time, so 89.
Great, yeah.
I love Patton. I think he's insane. I got to see them twice on the first on the Resurrection tour, and then later when they toured for Soul Invictus. And even I don't know if you can really say that they ever had a prime, because Faith No More was always just kind of there, and nobody knew what to make of them. And so it was like, when they're like, oh, we've got a new album coming out, I was like, okay, it's only been 11 years. All right, sure. Let's see what you got, guys.
I think once you've done Epic and then you do Easy. Yeah. That was, look at me off the top of my head.
Like the last album, what we thought was going to be their last album was called Album of the Year. So, I mean, Patton's a brat, or at least was. There's a lot of people who will tell you a lot of stories about the weirdness that was Mike Patton, or is Mike Patton, still to this day. But speaking of weirdness, Ozzy.
Yeah, back to the subject at hand.
Obviously, there's the dub thing.
But again, we've discussed this in many episodes before that nobody that ever created change or created that ripple was ever considered, that guy seems really well-rounded. Yeah. Nobody, whether it be Van Gogh, whether it be, all the different artists from Einstein, nobody ever looked at these guys and said they seem really well-rounded and got their shit together. No.
Well, I mean, when Ozzy is on his knees around a swimming pool and he's licking up a line of piss and ants because he's hanging out with fucking Motley Crue, and Motley Crue was like, "Oh, you can't outgross us," and Ozzy was like, "Hold my beer."
Right. And boys, pay attention. And again, that's somebody that again created their own path.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Go not where there is a path, but create your own trail." And that's what we're doing. And that's why we're talking about Ozzy today, because he created his own trail.
All right, so we're gonna play this video. Let's see. I'm gonna try to just play the whole video.
Right on. So, I think if we give them credits in it, we should be all right.
That should be okay. So this is Ozzy Osbourne with Flying High Again. All right. Ozzy Osbourne with Flying High Again.
Yeah, that could almost be the theme for this show, man. What an energy.
Yes, indeed. I can't believe it's been 43 years since Randy Rhoads died. That's just boggles the mind.
Yeah.
Man,
Sharon Osbourne still owes ICP 50 grand. So pay up.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get that opportunity, because I have a feeling that Sharon's not going to be with us much longer.
Yeah.
I think
that happens to all of us, man. I don't wish or put that out there for anybody or anything like that, man. So
yeah, but she has said that they've said in the past that's probably what would happen, because for crazy ass reasons, that woman loved that man. Yeah. And you look at their history, you look at Ozzy's history, and I don't know if there's a human being on the planet who probably had to put up with more shit than Sharon Osbourne. I mean, what do you do when you get that phone call from San Antonio and be like, "Oh, by the way, your husband's been arrested"?
Again, nothing's free, so that's the cost he had to pay for it. So
that's true. We're gonna go ahead and take a commercial break, folks. We'll be right back.
How can ordinary choices bring you face to face with death?
It was really safe.
Felicia, it's okay. Felicia, it's okay!
Hello, Mother.
I think it's so amazing that you can reach people's deceased loved ones.
Well, some people have unfinished business, and that's why they stay.
I rented out the suite online.
Pull yourself together.
Bestie.
Will you dare to open the door?
You're always going to be welcome here. Always.
Yes, indeed. At Death's Door, coming in October. from the great Frank Palangi films. And that particular little movie was written by someone who looks suspiciously like me. So that is my feature film debut as a film writer, as script writer. Well, and it's fun four fun little stories that Frank and I collaborated on, and he took my vision, he saw my vision, and he ran with it, and the movie's great, and I'm so excited that it's coming out, and we're going to be on streaming. We've been picked up by Film Hub. We've got an in-theater debut in October. So there's ton of stuff going on there, folks. So keep your eyes open for that. Like I said, we'll be on streaming services. We'll be everywhere. So you'll be able to check that out at that store. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun getting to know Frank and his team, and him and I. We've got some really, really cool stuff in the works. So keep an eye on that. I'll always thclimitless.com for all the cool stuff that we're up to.
And we're also getting ready to come out on another streaming service.
Yes, indeed. We have been picked up. The WMW podcast has been picked up by the Yakuza, not Yakuza, Yakuza, East Coast USA TV streaming service. They are on Roku, Amazon, Fire TV, Apple TV, all of those guys. They are everywhere. They are a company based out of, I want to say, New Jersey,
right?
Maybe Philly, somewhere that they're East Coast, they're Northeast Coast, and they've got a terrific team over there, and Angel and Chris Anino, and we've got some great projects in the works with them. We'll be expanding on everything we do, so be sure to check them out. It's AkuzaTV.com online, where you can watch stuff there, or if you go to your channel finders on Roku and blah blah blah, just type in ECUSA TV, and it'll bring you right there. You download the channel, and there's some great content on there already, and it's going to be a huge year for them. They've got some really cool stuff in the works, and then they hooked up with us. And we're going to bring some really fun stuff to that service as well. So we all grow together.
And as well, crazy enough, as we're sitting here talking about it, you've got some books for sale as well.
I do have some books for sale. We are still moving copies of Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, the uncrowned king of professional wrestling, written by his brother Dogg and Gene Jackson. And that book has been going great. There's a virtual signing coming up for them.
But you've got the gathering coming up, though, right?
Huh? The gathering is coming up next week.
Okay.
And
so anybody that's watching, you might be able to catch Chris, the THC dog, out in North Carolina for the gathering.
I will be there doing what I do best. Which is bullshitting people, no. which is showing folks what it is that we do and why we're happy to do it here. We were actually debuting 2 books at the gathering. So anyway, we had Doug Gilbert's book about Eddie. We've got Gary Wolf's book about his career, which was written alongside Keith Davison, who's a tremendous author. So check him out on Facebook, Keith C. Davison, no D, Davison.
As well as the only appearance from Rockin' Robin coming up, right?
Yes, and what is scheduled to be her final convention type experience. So, if you go to the gathering, first thing you're going to want to do, if you're a Demolition fan, if you're a Mass Superstar fan, if you're just Bill Eadie's one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet. Class act, nothing but nice things to say about him as a writer, as a publisher. He has been super great to work with, and I have yet to find a single person in the business who's got anything bad to say about Bill. Right. Everybody loves Bill. So if you're in North Carolina at the gathering on Saturday, be sure to check out Bill's table. He'll be there with Barry Darso, obviously, Axe and Smash back together. But this is the convention exclusive cover for Bill Eadie's new autobiography, The Masked Superstar Takes on the World. And that will be only available at conventions where Bill is.
Right on.
The paperback is available now on pre-sale on thcringside.com. So if you guys just want to pick up a paperback of it, it's a great story. Bill has had an amazing career, and you find out all kinds of really neat stuff about him and about how he, went literally all over the world and took on the best talents of his generation. There are some great pictures that Bill sent me, a lot of pictures that people probably never seen before. So that was a really special event. And then
the people under the THC banner that will be there will be Bill, Doug Gilbert.
No, Doug won't be there. Ernest Miller will be there, and we're working on his book right now. We're on the second draft of his book. Robin is under Bobby Murphy Books, who is one of the people that I work with on the side. I do some work for them. The two of them just hit it off. But speaking of Robin's book, check this out. All right.
That's got to be a great book.
It is an amazing read. Robin is just an incredible woman. Her life, her life saw ups and downs that some of us probably could never even imagine.
Sure.
And she was an absolute pleasure to work with. And her and Bobby Murphy put together an amazing book, and I can't wait for it to get out there. Some people had a problem with the title. But for anybody who reads the book, they'll understand why Robin went that way.
If you have a problem with anybody's title, write your own fucking book.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. She struggled, she fought a lifetime's worth of feelings, with problems with her dad, with her brothers, the disappearance of her sister. It was not a charmed life. But it is an amazing story, and she is an amazing human being. And so again, she'll be there at the gathering as well, and her book will be available. We're debuting it there. We've got a couple of little goodies too to go along with it. The folks at Bobby Murphy Books are putting together a hell of a package.
That's awesome.
So always thrilled to work with them. Really good people there. And so that's what's happening. And then in September, first weekend in September, I'll be in Spring Hill, Florida for a veterans wrestling event. And we'll be there with books. We're going to be donating a percentage of all the profits from the book sales to the, I'm not sure which charity they're working with, but one of the charities they're working with. Right. I've already told that, I think this is what we'll do. We'll come in, we'll, just give me a table, we'll set up, I'll sell books, and they're like, oh, that's so nice. I'm like, look, anything I can do to give back, because here's the thing about the military. They do a job that I don't want to do. My father served, my grandfather served. It wasn't me. It wasn't in me. And I knew that. So, but my hat goes off to the men and women who protect our country, and political bullshit aside, at the end of the day, we know how, we know that they're there to do their best. They love their country. They want to see their country safe. So anything I can ever do to help give back to the veterans and the folks who went, put their asses on the line for people like me who didn't want to go, then I'm more than happy to do that. So real quick before we get into the last segment of the day, I don't know if you saw the return of South Park.
I seen that they got paid a hefty. Let me show everybody this. Can you see it?
Yep, nice, awesome.
I lost the bet and I had to get that. I'll tell that story. You can find that story in my book.
Exactly. Which we're working on as well. That'll be out this fall, October maybe for New Mexico.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
2
weeks ago,
was it 1.5?
Yeah. 2.5 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago now, Paramount settled the most frivolous fucking lawsuit, the biggest nuisance lawsuit in the history of fucking law. All right. Trump sued CBS claiming that they edited a Kamala Harris interview that she did with 60 Minutes. And my first thought was, yeah, no shit, dude. It was an interview on a national news show. Of course it was edited.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not doing this live.
Right.
Because we might need to fucking edit it.
Yeah, sometimes shit happens. You know, so he sued them for $5 billion. And the lawyers were like, there's nothing here. There's no merit. You're accusing a news organization of editing their video. There's no case here. But Paramount, because they're trying to get this fucking merger with Blue Sky wrapped up, paid him $16 million. Now, the week after that happened, because during that whole week, Stephen Colbert was on vacation. Mm-hmm. Last Monday, Stephen Colbert came back from vacation and he ripped into Paramount.
Right.
3 days later, they announced the Tonight Show is being canceled.
Right. But in the same regards, let's give this a thought. If that format is a dying format anyways, all you're doing is building him up to come back to another place for more.
Well, that's the thing. And the funnier thing is, and this is always that I've been a store manager before.
Right.
They canceled the show, but it's not being canceled until May.
Sure.
So for the next 9 months, the gloves are off.
Well,
you know,
to a degree, but they've also got sponsors to answer to, and that's
sure. Well,
the contracts with their sponsors is why it's not immediate.
Yeah. Well, SAG and the Writers Guild are launching legal looks at it because they think that there's no coincidence the timing of it. But Wednesday morning, Paramount signs a new streaming contract with Parker and Stone for $1.5 billion.
Yeah, so the 16 million, you know.
Yeah.
What's that?
Drop in the bucket for them.
You know, most people and myself even could not even fathom how long does it take to count to 1 million.
Right. You know? I used to tell people all the time. I'm like, people are like, oh, 1 million. It's not a lot. You have never seen 1 million of anything in one place at one time.
Oh, fuck no. And you know.
Yeah. And I worked in a warehouse.
Right.
And there wasn't 1 million objects in that warehouse.
Let's do this real quick, man. I'm real curious now because I've looked this up before. How long does it take to count
to 1 million?
To 1 million. It takes 11.57 days. Okay. Non-stop of counting.
Jesus.
Okay. Non-stop. Okay. However, this is purely a theoretical calculation. In reality, a human being needs to eat, sleep, and rest, making it practically impossible to count that quickly for that long. Okay.
So
just
Yeah.
Again, the size of just a million.
Right.
Okay, that's just a million. How many millions does it take to get to a billion?
Lots.
Okay, so my brain does not work at that fucking level.
Mhm.
All right, I'm not mechanical. I'm not mathematical. I know how much I need to take to the store.
Right.
Yeah. But,
so they signed the contract Wednesday morning, and then Wednesday night, for the first time in several years, South Park has a season premiere.
Right.
Oh boy, did they let fly. Oh boy, did they let fly. Most of the episode were direct jokes at the shit gibbon and his micro penis. They just, I have never, and I've seen roast, I've seen, aggressive comics. I have never seen anyone roasted the way that they fucking did Trump. Like, they did him wrong. And the way they ended the show, the episode, was they were basically daring them to cancel them.
Right.
And the way they ended the show, if that is the last episode, they ended it perfectly, because they were like, this could be it for us. But at the same time, you just gave them $1.5 billion. Right. So they ain't going away.
Yeah. What's the back end on that contract?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, boy, howdy. If you guys haven't seen it, man, check it out. It is fucking rough. Especially since the last segment, they use a deep fake video of Trump walking through the desert. And which I think is only fair, because they did that stupid ass deep fake video with Obama getting arrested. It's like, really? I don't remember hearing that or seeing that actually happen. Crazy that way.
I look at all of it as just a giant distraction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is.
From the show to any of it. And what it does, again, it keeps people on their teams, and my team's better than yours. And, again, it keeps people from focusing on the reality of different situations.
Well,
it's nice to be entertained.
Yeah. There's so much crazy, and we'll cover it on Resin, because I think that's what Resin's going to kind of be, is a bit more what's going on in the world as a whole. One thing though, before we get into the wrestling and music wise, that it was an interesting week in music the last 2 weeks. Ice Nine Kills dropped their new single, which is based on The Matrix.
Okay.
And I got over the whole Matrix thing real quick. Like, it was a decent movie. It entertained me when I saw it. The lobby scene was something I always used to help set up my surround sound speakers when I was, doing that. But it's not a movie I go back to on the regular. I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
That would be my first question, because
so that was
crazy enough. I used to have a list of movies.
Fair enough.
If you're doing psychedelics, here's my list of movies.
Wizards by Ralph Bakshi. So I was like, okay, it is what it is. But then we got a new Nine Inch Nails song. And that made me very happy. And I don't care that it's the soundtrack for a Tron movie. It's new Nine Inch Nails. And it's not Trent and Atticus scoring movies. This specifically has been designated Nine Inch Nails. And the new song very much sounds like Nine Inch Nails. So I was very happy about that. I'd play it, but it's probably too new. I don't want to get into trouble.
Yeah, I remember Pretty Hate Machine, and that was
amazing album.
Yeah,
amazing
album. Blow your fucking mind when you first heard it. It was, what is this? And yeah, I can remember when that hit.
Oh yeah, I can always remember it, because I was 15 years old, and I was sitting in a car with a 16-year-old girl with half her head shaved and many earrings, and we were hanging out, and she put in the single for Sin, and the first Nine Inch Nails song I ever heard was Get Down, Make Love. And then from there, it just kind of exploded. And I mean, and I literally have a collection of over like 500 tracks that I have fucking looked everywhere for. Remixes, commercial mixes, video cuts. Just, I was obsessed for a while. So yeah, so new Nine Inch Nails, hallelujah. And I'll be happy. It's tough though. I understand the switch though, because Trent's in his 50s now.
Right.
You know, he's married. He's got, I think, 3 or 4 kids. He's not the young, angry man that he used to be, but I still think he has a lot to say. Right. So I'm hoping that the return of Nine Inch Nails in this fashion, hopefully gets him kind of back on that. Like, what do you think about what's going on? Year Zero, in my opinion, is one of the best concept albums. It's terrifying, right. You know, but it's one of those albums that just, it puts you in that place. And so huge fan of that one.
Much like Trent, my favorite band as a teenager was Suicidal Tendencies.
All I wanted was a Pepsi.
Yeah, and they were talking about that same kind of thing. How do you keep that same energy? And they're out opening up with Metallica. Yeah. It's
like the passion about things that we had when we were in our early 20s,
right?
Is definitely, for the most part, different than what we're passionate about today. So it does get a little tricky. Like, I like Suicidal Tendencies. I grew up, I think they played on a show. They opened for somebody that I went to see back in the day. But they are very much of their, it's like a lot of the punk bands.
Well, for me, it was, I love skateboarding. Anything that I can't do physically, I get fascinated with. Like, I cannot skateboard at all. So I used to actually take photographs at the skate shops and things like that of people who could actually skateboard.
Nice.
And the first, my goodness, was it the Bones Brigade videos? It might have been the Bones Brigade videos that came out. And Suicidal Tendencies was the music on the different skate videos, and that's how I got turned on to it, because just incidentally. They were, and it was like, oh, who the fuck is this? And then again, crazy enough, years back when Tony Hawk games came out.
A lot of great music on those soundtracks.
And I happened to be on that, which it was like, that's my vibe, man. And I can actually play the video game, but I have no business on a skateboard or roller skate.
Oh, I never went into wrestling for the same reason I don't do skateboards or bikes. I have a piss poor sense of balance, and you know, I'd fall over all the time. Right. So you know, the fact that I can walk upright some days, it amazes me. So I guess it's time to talk about it. We're coming up towards the hour, so let's. I'm going to say this, and then we can. You know, feel free to add on. Obviously, we all know that Hulk Hogan has passed away, 71 years old. Now, the first problem that I have is that they were all fucking, even when he was dying, you know, because Jimmy Hart was just on the internet the other day saying, oh, Hulkster's fine. He's feeling great. You know, everything's going well. And then the week before, like when he was in the hospital, his wife was like, oh, no, he's recovering nicely. Everything. I mean, and then all of a sudden he drops dead. No, come on. You guys
say that same vein as Ozzy again.
Yeah.
At what point? And I've used this example with bands and such before, like the Rolling Stones or Aerosmith or these different bands. It's, when's enough?
Yeah.
You know, and what I mean by that is, when's enough money? When's enough for your ego? When is it enough?
Yeah.
I don't get it, and I had read different things as well about their friends saying, and this is your friend. Yeah, that goes along with another person who's been called to help guys, but his first response is, "Let me grab my video camera first and document this."
Right.
And if that's your first response when I ask you for help, man, then
Yeah.
But
Now,
anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think, and there's been all kinds of of outpouring of emotions and memories and all that stuff. Here's what I think about that. I honestly believe that most of these people, myself included, and I was never a huge Hogan fan, even back in the '80s. I've always been into the smaller guys, like Bret Hart was my guy, Brutus Beefcake. I was never a big Hogan fan, but I think what people are mourning is their memories of the '80s, their memories of Hulk Hogan, their memories of the NWO. Because obviously, Hogan did some dumb shit, said some dumb shit, kind of for whatever reason decided he was set to, destroy his legacy by teaming up with Trump, by the whole nonsense with the beer. I mean, the guy got fucking booed out of the building on Raw, that one night. And it's like, the Netflix show, the first night on Netflix, they booed his ass out of the building. And I think that we all got tired of Terry Bollea 5 years ago. But Hulk Hogan, if you grew up watching wrestling, I mean, love him or hate him, wrestling would not, and I do not agree with a lot of things he has done in the past, even when he was, like, it doesn't work for me, brother, the creative control, all that nonsense. But professional wrestling would not have changed without Hogan. I think anybody who knows the business, anybody who sees where the business was and where it was going, Hogan came along at the exact right time with Vince. Vince had the money, he had the platform, and once he got his hands on the star, it was off to the races from there. And obviously, because 10 years after that, the territories are gone. Indie shows are at a minimum, and Hulk Hogan is fucking Hulk Hogan. So I'm sorry to hear that he passed. I feel for his family. I do. Especially his new wife. I mean, I don't think they've been married that long. But I can understand. There's a lot of people who also are, have very negative things to say about him. And that I understand too, because one of the things we tend to do as a society is we kind of have a tendency to canonize someone after they die. And it's like, oh, well, they were such a wonderful person and blah, blah, blah. No. The last 5 or 6 years, Terry Bollea has been an asshole. Now I don't know if you ever ran across him in your years in the business, if you ever had any interactions with him. But as someone who was in the business during the time where he was, Hulk Hogan, what are your thoughts?
Real quick, I'm going to give it kind of a disclaimer that, again, I any of the personal or anything like that, I do not endorse, support, and I wouldn't stand beside the man for a picture.
Sure.
So, wrestling itself peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. All right. And in the early 80s, it hit a peak. And right place, right time happened to be the right guy.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason being is there was a prototype before him that Vince McMahon fell in love with.
Oh, yeah.
And his name was Superstar Billy Graham. And Jesse Ventura, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys.
You can see the path, yeah.
Yeah. And that was one of the first things that Vern Gagne asked Jesse Ventura was, could you be Superstar Graham? And he goes, hell yeah, I can. So with Graham being that prototype, and think about how long Vince had to have had that vision that he was sitting on, and then he seen Hogan. Yeah, right place, right time, and a guy with direction, a guy with vision. And we say this many times to people: nobody has to understand your goal, your dream, your vision for you to go after it, because it's yours. That's yours. And nobody understood Vince's vision and his ideas. You're going to make toys out of these guys. You're going to make them. And he just happened to have that guy to do it. Now, again, a lot of times people are placed on a pedestal and people take a great deal of satisfaction tearing them down.
Yes.
I can't be a part of that. I'll let his actions and do whatnot speak for himself, and you judge that. And I can't forgive because I'm not a black man or a black woman. That's not my place to do. Beyond that. Sure. Now, wrestling wise, again, he happened to be the guy, the vehicle to drive it to that next. And yeah. So if you're looking for branding and things like that, much like McDonald's is, we go with red and yellow. Things. This is marketing. Okay, Wendy's is red and yellow. Hardee's red and yellow for a reason. Okay? And so, just understanding that simple part of the marketing. Okay.
Oh yeah, because early on, if you look back in some of Hogan's matches, he was wearing white trunks. He was wearing blue trunks. But once they hit that yellow and red stage. It was on. It was good until '96.
And again, that plays again with the pop culture and things like that. And people, as silly as it may seem, these are relevant things marketing wise.
Yes.
And tying into these things and making things into pop culture. It goes so far beyond what you might understand or think you understand about it.
Right.
There's groups, think tanks, multiple people that come up with these.
Oh yeah,
things. It's not just one vision.
Yeah, smart people who went to college and got degrees and it's funny with the toy thing. Yeah, I saw an interview not too long ago with Greg Valentine,
right?
And they asked him about how he felt about the LJN figures. And he's like, I'll tell you how I felt about it. He's like, when I got that first royalty check for $18,000, he's like, I felt perfectly fine about it. Didn't smile because although I've been investigating and I have been told that you can make Greg Valentine smile. It's just very hard to do.
Sheik's first royalty check was $75,000.
Yeah.
So imagine if you will.
Oh yeah. I can't even, and that's, what the money just, it started rolling in. And like I said, a friend of mine, a friend of the family's ran the merchandise warehouse for them in Stanford before they moved it to Indiana. And you would not believe the amount of fucking merchandise. It was insane. The warehouse was fucking huge. And it's just, giant shelf after giant shelf, T-shirts, posters, foam fingers, stuffed dogs, stuffed snakes.
Now take it one step further, and being popular was the only place that you could get these shirts was through a catalog, or you had to go to a live show.
Yes.
That was it. It was not in stores. It wasn't pop culture at that time.
No. And some of those catalogs featured a very young Stephanie McMahon advertising T-shirts because, if you're Vince's kid on in the business, you're going to do everything.
Yeah, why not, right?
What the hell? Shane was taking apart and putting together the ring. Stephanie was working, in the catalog side of things, learning that business. Mm-hmm. And like Vince said, I mean, I don't particularly care for a lot of the things that Vince has done over the years. He's been accused of some stuff. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. But I've heard enough stories where it's kind of like, I don't have a hard time believing it. But one thing, though, is he did not hand those kids anything. Like, they worked their asses off to get to where they were.
But the other thing also is that can get lost, and I say this with ICP as well, because they created their own thing. Okay? Yeah. They created the blueprint for how to do it.
Right.
The same as Vince McMahon created his blueprint. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a blueprint before he created.
Yeah.
And again, that's having a vision. That's having goals.
There wasn't a national wrestling company. You didn't see all of these guys who worked in New York, in California every month, or it didn't happen.
Right.
But Vince, cable TV, Rocky III, and Vince's vision.
Yep.
And here we are.
And Vern Gagne fucking up with merchandise.
And Vern Gagne not being willing to fucking drop the belt to Hogan. It's like, are you out of your... Because I honestly think that if Gagne had pushed Hogan, they still had some money then. AWA was still doing okay then. They had arguably a better roster. Mm-hmm. And if Vern could have put in the money and not, and because Greg, I think he kept, or Nick Bockwinkel, I don't know, one of the guys who was in charge of AWA, was like, oh, well, that's, basically going to Hogan. Sorry, that's not going to work, brother. So it's.
If I remember correctly, a lot of it had to do with merchandise as well.
Oh yeah.
Because
there wasn't any.
No, there was Hogan shirts, there was High Flyer shirts, and a couple other, maybe Baron von Raschke shirt. But Hogan went to Japan.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They continued to sell the merchandise.
Oh,
while he was in Japan,
and they weren't paying him, I'm sure.
As well as Vern. The reason Vern didn't put the title on him as well is because Vern wanted a cut of the Japan money with him being the champion.
Right.
And Hogan already had his deal with Japan long before that. So why in the fuck would he give Vern 20-30%?
Yes, that.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, that was both of those things had a lot to do with it as well.
Well, here's I think one of the more interesting what ifs. Hogan was working for McMahon Sr.
right
when the opportunity for Rocky came up, and Sr. was like, "No, I don't want you doing it. Da 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 da. It makes the business look bad. Blah 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 blah." So Hogan left.
Right.
But I wonder if Hogan had had that extra year and a half or however long it was that he was gone for, and still been able to do Rocky.
Right.
Would that have kickstarted Vince's plan later? Or would that have kind of given Vince the chutzpah to push further and get the old man to sell him the company because he saw what Hogan could be? Like that year and a half is a really interesting time because he went back, he did Rocky, and then he went back to Vern, and Vern fucked him around some more. And then finally Junior was like, fuck it, we're bringing this guy back. So I wonder, that's one of those weird times in wrestling history where a number of things could have gone just slightly differently.
Right.
And the whole business would have changed.
And marketing again with that. I can promise you can tell me the first ring music he used when he came to the WWF.
I was using Eye of the Tiger.
Right.
When he came back. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, tying into that pop culture. And the minute that people heard that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that song was huge. That song was fucking everywhere.
And people still know that song today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
Well, it's like when Vince started getting cheap about the theme music. Although, not to knock Jimmy Hart or Jim Johnston, they are one of these days. That's a conversation we have to have one of these days on this show.
I'd love to have Jim Johnson on here. That would be awesome.
That dude, I mean, I was talking to who was I talking to the other day? Oh, Glenn Osborne. And we were talking about Gangrel. And I was like, I said, honestly, I think that piece of music is one of the best pieces of music that Jim Johnson ever wrote. That Brood theme song. So, and then the Ring of Fire, like, I'm like, fucking, yeah. I'm like, I've been a Gangrel fan since the first time I saw him come up in that fucking Ring of Fire. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? So
also again tied with pop culture because of the Lost Boys and things like that.
Interview with the Vampire had the movie had come out, and he you know, and again, another, from what I understand, and you know, another person who is pretty much loved in the business. David, from everything I've been told, is a great guy, and I'm hoping to be able to work with him soon. And you know, enough people now are vouching for me, and they're seeing what I'm doing to get other people to be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's have that conversation. So as we come up to it for this particular episode, it's like I said, it's been a rough 2 weeks, man. Gen X, we've been taking it in the fucking teeth. Hopefully we're good for a while. I mean, I know people die every day, but hopefully no more of our childhood, you know, I don't want to say heroes necessarily, but, you know, to some people, Hogan was their hero. Ozzy was their hero. You know, I remember Malcolm Jamal Warner, obviously in the Cosby Show, but he was also in the 4th season of American Horror Story, which, you know, he had a small but very good role in. So, you know, a lot of lost talent, you know, but I do appreciate every single one of them, and I wish them the best in their journey, wherever, you know, whatever they believe, wherever they, you know, heaven or whatever your beliefs are. You know, I want to thank all those people, because all of them added, you know, important moments in my childhood. You know, the Cosby Show episode where Denise makes the shirt for Theo, and it's all fucked up. The one sleeve is all on. That's just one of those moments in time where you see a still shot and you know exactly what it is. And so, yeah, to those we've lost in the last couple of weeks, safe travels to wherever it is that you go, and thank you for the memories. So, Izzy, we'll be back on Wednesday for Resin. This will go up on Sunday, and then I am out of town next week, but that's okay because I'm not leaving till Tuesday. So we'll record Resin on Monday, and then if we have time on Monday,
we'll get it in there.
Yeah, we'll do one on maybe another one of these two to have, because I won't be back until Sunday, I think. So.
Yeah, man, we can definitely put it together. We've got some great ideas. We got a lot of things coming up, and wonderful things that you've got out there with books and appearances. And
I got some folks who, you know, are more than happy to come on and talk with us. So, you know, we'll be lining up some great guests, and
we've got some wonderful guests lined up.
So we're gonna have a good time. And we're going to do what we do. And guys, stay tuned with us here, because, like I said, we'll be streaming soon on Akuza TV. That's, I think, another week or two. We'll be up on that. And this show in Resin, Sundays and Wednesdays, we'll be hitting you up. There's a couple other things that are cooking now, a couple other podcast video ideas that are being discussed. So, you know, we're always up to something. We're causing a ruckus, but we're not getting in any trouble. So, for me, I am the THC DOGG with the IZZY, Mr. Izzy. Hi, folks. We will see you on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in, and we're going to go out on this last commercial break.
Hi, I'm Cliffy, and I'm here today to tell you about an amazing new product that I got that you want, that you need in your life. It's called Ninja Vanish. If you're like me, you get yourself in a lot of sticky situations. How you gonna get out of them? Who's got time? Who wants to deal with that? You need Ninja Vanish. Here's how it works. You're in the situation, you gotta get out of the situation, bam! Hey, where'd I go? You don't know, and more importantly, no one else knows. You piss your pants in your friend's couch? Ninja Vanish! You fart in an elevator? You gotta get out of there! Ninja Vanish! You walk into a gay bar? Ninja Vanish! Unless you're gay. You get in a fight with a hooker? She bite your tongue off? Ninja Vanish! You reference old things that aren't even funny no more? Ninja Vanish! You pull out too late. 9 months later, you got a problem on your hands.
Baby, I have something really important to tell you. I'm pregnant. God damn it!
Ninja Vanish! Your mom catches you jacking off.
What are you doing?
I'm using the bathroom!
Well, I'm coming in there.
No?
Ninja Vanish. You wake up next to a big girl in the morning that you don't know how you got there?
You was a minotaur last night.
She's got a dick. Ninja Vanish. Hey, and for the ladies, you can use it as well. It ain't just for us guys. You fart while your boyfriend's going down on you. Ninja Vanish. Alright, now tell you what I'm gonna do. 'Cause we can't do this all day. I'm gonna give you a month's supply of Ninja Vanish for $29.95. It's made in Thailand, so you know it's good. You also get this, the blow phone. A phone with a breathalyzer. You'll never drunk dial again. $40 value, absolutely free in the next 15 minutes. Hey, you've tried the other guys, now dip out with the best. Ninja Vanish.